Some more question and answer which are possible to be targeted in exam. Discuss the provision incorporated in OECD in the Income Tax Act 1961 in line with OECD recommendation under action plan number 4. Now whenever this type of question comes, you need to know what was there in action plan number 4. So here we have discussed about thin capitalization, isn't it? So in line with the recommendation of OECD base erosion and profit shifting action plan 4, section 94B has been inserted in Income Tax Act by Finance Act 2017 to provide the cap. Cap means maximum amount of interest. How much, sir? 30% of EBITDA, earning before interest, tax, amortization and depreciation on the interest expenses that can be claimed by the entity as an associate enterprises. The total interest paid in excess of 30% of its earning before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization, that is EBITDA, or interest paid or payable to the association enterprises, whichever is less should not be deductible. That means this is the disallowance. Okay, so you will compute the excess or actual interest whichever is lower. So disallowance is equal to excess or actual interest whichever is lower is allowed, is a disallowed. But sir, is it permanent disallowed? No. You can carry forward that disallowed for coming 8 years and then you can set off whenever there is a shortage. If you are paying interest less than 30% of EBITDA, in that year you can take the set off. The provision is applicable to Indian company or a permanent establishment of a foreign company being the borrower who pays interest in respect of any form of debt issued by non-resident who is the associate enterprise. Obviously this planning will happen only when this is done in AE, and apart from that this is not applicable when these are banking companies. The provision allows carry forward of disallowed interest for 8 assessment years immediately succeeding the assessment year for which disallowance is first made, and deduction against the income computed under the head PGBP to the extent maximum allowable is possible. So in the year of taking the deduction, you should again check 30% of EBITDA as a deduction, isn't it? Next one. Further, the debt deemed to be treated as issued by the associate enterprises where it is provide an implicit and explicit guarantee to the lender. So that is just a wider definition. It doesn't only involve the debt which is directly given. If the debt is given by the bank, okay, or some other company, but this company, please understand, have given the guarantee and this person has given the loan to India, even that is covered. So that is indirect loan, isn't it? It can be a direct loan or it can be indirect loan. Being a non-associate enterprise, the deposit of corresponding or matching amount of fund with the such lender. In order to target only large interest payment, it provides that the threshold of expenditure will be 1 crore. So to attract section 94B disallowances, your interest payment should be at least 1 crore rupees. If it is more than 1 crore, then only the provisions will be applicable. So this threshold is also very, very important. Banks and insurance business are excluded from the ambit of the said provision, keeping in view of special nature of the business activities. Also, section 94B would not be attracted on the interest in respect of the debt issued by the lender, which is a permanent establishment in India for non-resident being engaged in a banking business. So if you are engaged in a banking business or insurance business, these provisions are not applicable. Next question. Describe the 3-tier structure for transfer pricing documents mandated by the BEPS Action Plan 13. 3-tier, you know that, right? Master file, local file and country by country reporting that we have to discuss. Action Plan 13 contains 3-tiered standardized approach to transfer pricing document which consists of master file. What will be there in master file, sir? Master file requires multinational enterprise to provide tax administration with a high level information regarding to their global businesses, business operation, transfer pricing policies. Okay. So all data related to global business will be submitted. The master file is to be delivered by multinational enterprise directly to the local tax administration. Okay. Local file is very important file because it contains the data which are there in respect of the transaction which has happened through India. Local file requires maintenance of the transactional information specific to each country in detail, covering the related party transaction and amounts involved in those transactions. In addition, relevant financial information regarding to specific transaction comparability. So obviously, you know, one of the method which is 90% is used is comparable uncontrolled transaction. Is no CUP method, controllable what is comparable uncontrolled price method. So for that we need your actual transaction data and your comparable data. Yeah, Comparability analysis and analysis of selection and application of the most appropriate transfer pricing method should also be captured. The local file is to be delivered by the MNC directly to the local tax administration. Now, country by country report. This is the something new, and India has adopted in section 286 country by country reporting. CBC report requires multinational enterprises to provide an annual report. Okay, this is annual report to economic indicators, wise amount of revenue, profit before income tax paid, accrued in relation to tax jurisdiction in which they do the business. So if they are doing business in 15 countries, this is the data of 15 country wise. Okay, country by country reports are required to be filed in the jurisdiction of tax residence by the ultimate parent entity. So one country, if it is UK based country, in UK they will submit, and then UK government will share the country by country report with other countries, being subsequently shared between other jurisdictions through the automatic exchange of information mechanism. So if you are operating in 15 countries, you don't have to submit the data in 15 countries. If you upload it to your resident country, main country where holding company is located, balance countries can easily access that particular file just by having this common exchange portal. Explain the nexus approach recommended by the OECD BEPS Action Plan 5, which has been adopted in Income Tax Act 1961. Now, Action Plan 5 talks about royalty income for the patent which are registered in India. You know that we have brought the condition of 75% expenditure should be incurred in India. It has to be resident assessee, patent should be approved by Indian law. That is other procedural aspect. The most important one is 75% condition. In India, Finance Act 2016 has introduced a concessional taxation regime for royalty income for patents for the purpose of promoting indigenous research and development and making India a global hub for the research and development. So this is the original purpose for having 115 BBF section with us. Tax rate 10% on the gross amount without any deductions. Okay. The purpose of concessional taxation regime is to encourage entities to retain and commercialize existing patents for developing the new innovative patent products. Further, this beneficial taxation regime will incentivize entities to locate in high value jobs associated. High value jobs means obviously when you have a research and development facilities in India, you are hiring the scientist. Obviously that is high value jobs which has to be located in India. Otherwise, Indian brains, best of the best brains are actually going to USA, Canada, Australia, because Indian entities, or there are no entities in India, we can afford them. Yeah, associated with the developed manufacture and exploitation patents in India. The nexus approach has been recommended by the OECD based BEPS or Base Erosion Profit Shift Plan 5. This approach requires attribution and taxation of income arising from exploitation of intellectual property in the jurisdiction where substantial research and development activities undertaken instead of only legal ownership. So we are not going to check the legal form, we are going to check the substance over legal form. In reality, you should have conducted research in India. Accordingly, 115 BBF has been inserted in Income Tax Act 1961 to provide that where the total income of eligible assessee being a resident in India who is the true and the first inventor of the invention, who the name is entered into patent registered as per Patent Act 1970, includes every such person being a true and the first inventor of the invention. Where more than one person is registered as a patentee in respect of that patent, please understand, includes any income by way of royalty in such respect patent developed and registered in India, then such royalty shall be taxable at the rate of 10% plus surcharge plus cess. For this purpose, the developed means at least 75% of the expenditure should be incurred in India by the eligible assessee for invention in respect of the patent which is granted under Patent Act 1970. So this type of questions can be targeted which are outrightly on the action plan. This is just a 1 hour investment, but it can become for 5 to 8 marks in exam. So don't take it lightly. Whatever I have discussed is the minimum requirement, and please go through at least that minimum requirement. Thank you.